Nurses, are you tired of spending weeks or even months finding the perfect job that matches your specialty with your ideal shift and salary? LinkedIn has improved your job search experience. Search by specialty, the shift you want to work, and the salary you want to make. Go to linkedin.com/nurses and begin searching today. That's linkedin.com/nurses.
Note, side effects may include less time finding the perfect job, working a shift that you love with a salary that can take you to St. Thomas, Jamaica, and continuous smiling because of how simple this process was.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader, like that car right in your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. AutoTrader.
Welcome to Speak. I'm Joy Taylor, here with Super Bowl champion Keyshawn Johnson, NBA Finals MVP Paul Pierce, and Fox Sports senior NBA analyst Rick Bucher. Lock in, guys. Lock in, Key.
Lock in, Rick.
Key.
Lock in, Key.
Paul. I know.
Lock in.
We'll have a little bit of news for you in a couple minutes.
I'm locked in, but I'm distracted right now because some major news just dropped, but we'll get to it.
We'll get to it in a couple minutes. We'll start with the NBA Finals. We are 1 day away from Game 6 of the NBA Finals, and Pacers star point guard Tyrese Haliburton is dealing with a strained calf muscle ahead of what could be Indiana's final game of the season. Haliburton's status for Game 6 is in jeopardy, and head coach Rick Carlisle addressed the situation today. Let's take a listen.
He is going to be carefully evaluated over the next 36 hours, and will likely be listed as questionable on the injury report, and probably will be a game-time decision for Game 6.
All right.
I got your pen. No, this is yours. I'm over here. Man.
He's all that stuff.
This
populated.
We'll get it together.
Yeah.
Paul, can the Pacers win with a compromised Haliburton?
They absolutely can win. You know, even though he didn't have the game he wanted to have in the last game, we know that. He didn't make a field goal. But listen, if they don't turn the ball over 22 times, they're pretty much in the game. They're in the game despite Haliburton's effort, because you're getting the production off the bench that can make up, because this isn't a team that needs Haliburton to score 30 for them to win like it is for Shea or Jalen Williams. He just has to have a presence out there, and he didn't let his presence be felt, because I've seen him win games in the playoffs where he has like 12, 13, 14 points, 10 assists. So if he can just be a presence out there and he can get exactly what he's getting from everybody, because I think they played well enough on the offensive end. They shot 45%. That's good enough to win. But you can't turn the ball over. They won the shooting game. Then they won the rebound war. You know what I'm saying? These type of numbers usually add up to wins, especially when you call it a wash at the free throw line. The turnover category just can't happen. So if you're getting contributions like they've been regularly getting off the bench, and Pascal Siakam has to step up, though. He has to give me what he gave me last game minus the turnovers. If I'm getting these same contributions off the bench, and Rick Carlisle can make the necessary adjustments on defense to where you're not giving straight line drives, where you are trapping off the pick and roll or getting the ball out of their comfort zone, meaning Jalen Williams and Shai Gilgeous. And you use the home crowd for your adrenaline and momentum. Steak and shake. Let's go. Yo, season on the line. This is the last home game of the season. I need you to give me everything. I got the Pacers going down with a great fight tonight and bringing home Game 6 for we can see a Game 7.
Well done or medium rare? How you want your steak?
Listen, I need that well done, like I'm in the third grade.
And they're gonna be well done too.
Like a nice hockey puck.
Yeah, I need a third grade steak.
Panthers.
Pacers gonna be well done.
Can they win with a compromised Haliburton, Keith?
No, 0 chance.
So it's over.
And I understand everything Paul is saying, that they don't need him to score points, but they need him to be active, out on the floor, and be himself, at least to some degree. Even if it was 12 points or 13 points, he still got to be able to dish the ball, set up the offense. He still got to be able to do all of those things. And when a star player of this caliber isn't a part of the team, everything just kind of dies down. because everybody feel like, oh, poor us. It ain't gonna happen that way. And if he's compromised to the degree that he can't play at the level, now look, he came back in, he played 34 minutes. Didn't do anything, but he looked like he was pretty healthy to me. He seemed like he was okay running around on the floor, but zero chance though. You gotta have your best players have got to be healthy. How many times have we watched games where the star player isn't out on the floor in these type of situations and the team looks less than zero? They just look bad. And that's the situation with him. He may not have to score a lot of points, but he's got to bring the energy. He's got to set up the offense. There's certain things that he needs to do. And if he's out on the floor and he's compromised, imagine what they're going to do. They're going to set him up for failure on the offensive end. You know what I'm saying? OKC going to find him. They're going to say, find him every chance we get because he's compromised. He can't play defense right now. Let's take advantage of him. So, as Paul said the other day to me, what was it, Paul? 81% the people that won Game 4, they went on to win the series?
Yeah.
You know, it's 74% now.
Yeah.
Teams that won Game 5. Just wanted you to know that.
Yeah. No, they can't win the series with a compromised Halliburton, and I'm not even sure that they can win it with a healthy Halliburton at this stage because it feels as if he's being listed as questionable for this game. It feels as if he's been questionable every game of this series because we don't know what we're going to get. And we don't know what we're going to get from quarter to quarter. He has had some big moments. He's had some disappointing moments as well. The key, but if he is compromised, it means that he's not able to get to the paint. And his ability to get to the paint is what drives everything in terms of his effectiveness and the team's collective effectiveness. And we didn't see that in the last game, and as a result, we got what we got. And he doesn't have, this is the other part that I believe that the Oklahoma City Thunder have exposed about Tyrese Halliburton, is that he doesn't have the ability to play a game that's compromised. He has to be able to take you off the bounce to get to the paint. Jalen Brunson has the ability to use his physicality, even if he's not 100%, if he can't go by you, he can still be a factor. And we've seen that with other players. Tyrese Halliburton, at this stage of his career, at age 25, does not have that ability. So if he's not 100%, then I give them almost no chance of being able to extend this series.
I think they can. It's at home, and it's going to require a lot from everyone else. It's going to require a clean game. You can't have 23 turnovers, which lead to 32 points.
What's their lowest output in turnovers this series with them?
I think they had one game where they won the turnover battle.
It was 13 or something. They had like 13, right?
Yeah.
One game.
One game.
Game 3.
I mean, they had a 24 turnover game. They had a 21.
At this
11,
point,
11.
Was it 11?
It was no,
that was game 3, right?
It was game 3. But I think they can. I don't know if they can win the series, but I do think that they can extend it to 7. I do think they can. He did play. I think he's going to play tomorrow. I mean, you're in the NBA Finals. If there's any opportunity for you to get on the court, you're going to do what you need to do to get out there. Now, you're not going to be 100%, but who is at this point in the season? Obviously, he's dealing with something serious, or he wouldn't be listed as questionable right now, and we wouldn't be having this conversation. But I don't know that we're going to get another 40-point game from J-Dub. I'm sure he'll have another nice performance, and he has been trending up every single game of the series. But I think that if everyone plays their role perfectly and everyone gives it the right type of game, they can beat the Thunder at home. I do believe that they can, whether Halliburton is 100% healthy or not. Now, can they win 2 in a row and win the series? I don't think so. But I do think that they can extend it to 7.
Are we wishing and hoping at this point about the turnovers? Because we've had 5 games, and 4 of them there's been a turnover problem. I get the sense that it's part of who they are in how fast they have to play against the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah, it might be.
Combined with the Thunder's defense, that it's not...
I was going to say, I think it's more, for me, it's more the defense of the Thunder and the activity in their hands and being very active, creating those turnovers.
I think it's both. Yeah, I think it's a combination of how fast they play. And they also have been, visibly uneasy. Mm-hmm. You can see that they're not fully confident in the decisions that they're making at certain points in the game, especially when the turnovers are continuous. I mean, 4 straight turnovers in the fourth quarter in this last game. Like,
you can't have it.
It's not necessarily that they're forced, but they look more like mental errors than just, the Thunder playing incredible defense. But the Thunder have been favored in every game in the finals and have had the best record in the West by 16 games during the regular season. After an impressive run to the finals, sweeping Memphis, knocking off Joker's Nuggets, and a gentleman's sweep of Ants Timberwolves, OKC is one game away from their first title in franchise history. So, Paul, would a title be the start of a dynasty for the Thunder?
It sure has the makings of one, because when I look at them being the youngest team in the league, you got a 26-year-old MVP. Is that correct? Shea is 26. Is that right, Rick?
I'll check that and get it back to you.
Yeah, I believe he's around that age. And then your second All-Star is only in his third year.
26.
And Jalen Williams. And then your third best player is still in his rookie contract, Chet Holmgren. And then you got the necessary young pieces in Lou Dort. You got Wiggins, veterans like Alex Caruso. Man, they certainly have the infrastructure to be really good for a really long time. And, we said these things about the Boston Celtics, but in order to have a dynasty, you have to be not only good, you have to be lucky. And luck is part of being healthy. If they can be healthy for the majority of the next we're talking about a team that could be together like the next 10 years. And if we're talking about dynasty, if they can squeeze, can this team right here, as built right now, that won 68 games, if they win the championship tomorrow, they're going to be a dynasty. Because if you win 3 championships in the next 6 years, that's considered a dynasty. I believe a healthy OKC team can do it. I think we're going to be in the middle of 2 dynasties, though.
I don't feel like this
Shea is 3 weeks away from turning 27, so he's technically 26 years old at the moment.
Yeah, he's 26.
Yeah.
See, for some reason, I don't feel like this is a dynasty.
This team's been dominant, though.
Club.
This team is dominant. Like,
I
look at the numbers
get,
regular season.
I get the numbers regular season.
This
I
is
get
a
that they won
historical
68
team.
games.
Don't look at me for confirmation.
Because you know this. Because you know this.
Stop
Because I know
looking at
you're
me
not
like
going to give it to them.
you want me to nod.
You don't want to give them
I'm
no
not gonna
props.
nod.
You don't give out no props.
I just
That's
don't.
the truth.
I just don't feel like it doesn't
This
feel
team
like a
is great.
dynasty team. It feels like if they would have got a different matchup in the postseason.
Healthy Boston Celtics?
No, not even just a healthy Boston
West?
Celtics. Even out of the West, if
Healthy
the matchup
Boston
would have been
Celtics? Who
even the
wins?
Boston Celtics, though. That's what I'm saying. They get a healthy matchup in Boston. Maybe we ain't even having this conversation if Boston would have stayed healthy and took care of business and not got spooked like they did against the
They
Knicks.
actually beat Boston twice this year.
But that was in the regular season. I'm just talking about in the postseason. Or somebody in the West.
I think they
They
played the
could've
best.
seen-
I think Denver I don't think they were going to face anybody that was tougher than Denver. I think they took care of business when it comes to
But
the West.
Denver was banged up too.
They got
Remember
banged
that?
up in the final
They was
final.
banged up. I don't know why I don't feel it like that. I understand they got the MVP and he's 27 years old here in the next couple of weeks or whatever the case is. It just doesn't feel dynasty.
I'll tell
to
you
me.
why. I'll tell you why.
They got, keep
Because-
this in mind, too. They got draft picks. They got a lot of room to get better, too.
Let me know when you're done making your case.
Go ahead. Let me hear your case.
Done?
Let me hear your case, lawyer.
Okay.
Lawyer Rick. Okay.
Lawyer Rick.
Counsel
This is
Rick.
why this is one reason why you're not feeling it. Because we've said this. We said this about the Denver Nuggets when they won it. We said it about the Boston Celtics when they won it.
Well, Boston Celtics is still on track though. They still on track. No, they
might
on
have
track. They on track. They still on track.
Well, then it can't happen. Boston Celtics can't be on track to be a dynasty, and the Oklahoma City Thunder are on track to be a dynasty.
Only reason why I say that they on track, Rick, is because they've been to 2 finals with these same 2 guys, Brown and Tatum.
Yeah.
They've been to multiple Eastern Conference championship games. They've been in the playoffs
But
basically every single year.
That's right.
And it felt like that if Tatum doesn't go down, they probably could have came back against
Yes.
the Knicks and done something.
But that's the reason why I would say the Boston Celtics missed their window, is because they've done all that. And who does it for who in the NBA in NBA history outside of the San Antonio Spurs, who never won back-to-back, and we can have that discussion in terms of being dynastic when you never won back-to-backs. We can have that debate. I don't know any other team that stayed in that realm. Maybe the Detroit Pistons for 6-7 years, but they only won 1 championship. That wasn't dynastic. But the NBA is now set up to prevent dynasties. And I'm just looking at how, look, they got 3 guys this summer, 3 key guys, Chet Holmgren, Lou Dort, and Jalen Williams, who are all eligible, who are all extension eligible. And then the following year, they've got Isaiah Hartenstein, Cason Wallace, and Isaiah Joe, who are extension eligible, and SGA will be in the last year of his deal. You just get to a point where if you are winning the way that they're winning, you have to pay these guys. And it's set up that if you pay people what their market value is, then you don't have any other flexibility. They are as set up as any team could possibly be because they're so young, and this is their first trip there, and they have great depth and chemistry, and they do have those draft picks, and they have a great GM in Sam Presti, but there is work to do to keep them where they are. And the biggest thing is the NBA now has a salary cap that you're seeing it with Boston at this point. Like we're talking about, they got to move guys, not necessarily because they want to move guys, but because they can't afford to keep them.
Because they're going to have to spend $500 million.
Exactly, to do it. So. And that's an OKC in their market. I will guarantee you one thing. I don't know anything about what's going to happen else with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Clay Bennett is not spending $500 million to keep this team together. He ain't doing that.
Okay. No, they're not a star of a dynasty. We don't get to talk about dynasties until you win at least 2 championships.
Thank you.
They have not won one.
Thank you. That's true.
I don't want to talk about dynasties until you are dynastic. And one championship alleged, because it's not finished yet, is not a dynasty make. I understand that we get excited, but we did this about the Celtics. We did this about the Nuggets. We've done this about a lot of teams. Mm-hmm. A dynasty is something that has to be earned. You can't just start talking about this. And the NBA hasn't had back-to-back championships since the Warriors in, 2017, 2018? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. Please. You get back to the finals before we start talking about you're building a dynasty.
Thank you.
They have had an incredible season. This has been an unbelievable run. If it ends tomorrow, it will be a very impressive run. It will end in a streak of MVPs not finishing the season with championships, which I think is very important. It'll definitely cement Shea's legacy and put him at the top of the league as one of the best players in the league amongst all the other men that have won multiple MVPs because he finished the season this way, because they had such a dominant regular season. But no, we got to relax. It's too soon. Too soon. All right.
Every era has had a dynasty.
Yeah, and there will be another one. There will be another one. But until they start doing dynastic things, and this isn't hate, this finals is not over, which I know we're all assuming is over because of Halliburton, but this finals is not over. And even when it is over, if OKC wins, which I picked to happen in 7, by the way, I'm the only one who hasn't changed my pick. Just notes. They then have to go do this again. Yeah. You know how hard that is to do.
The infrastructure is definitely there.
The infrastructure is there, yeah. If the question is, do they have the potential to eventually build into a dynasty, then yes. Yeah. But is this a start? I don't know until you at least get back to another finals.
And as much as I agree with you in terms of we've always, every decade or every era has had one. You said the last time we had back-to-backs, legitimately, the Warriors were the last dynasty, right? Yeah. We're looking at 7-8 years where we haven't had repeat champions. This may be the first era.
Yeah, every era has 7-8 years where you don't have repeat champions. Yeah.
You count or don't count San Antonio?
What? Yeah, every era has that. Because when the Lakers did it in the early 2000s.
Don't worry about what we did.
And then who else did it after that? The Heat.
Was the Heat a dynasty?
10 years later.
2 out of 4.
But doing back-to-back doesn't necessarily is not the only criteria.
I feel like 3 championships.
Or necessarily a criteria for a championship. Yeah. I think if you win 3 championships.
That's a dynasty.
I don't feel like
back-to-back is not a...
No, I don't either.
Paul, I don't feel like the Heat was a dynasty.
I didn't say it was a dynasty. We said back.
Talking about
you said they were dynasty.
No. Back-to-back.
Warriors were the last dynasty.
To me, if you win 3 championships, you are a dynasty. With the same core players, you're a dynasty.
Yeah.
To me.
But I'm saying back-to-back happens every 10 years.
Yeah, you got to have the same core of players. That's why I think Boston, if they can keep Brown and Tatum and get him back healthy, they got the opportunity to still kind of stay on track.
All right. This is why Key was all discombobulated at the beginning of the show.
They messed me up.
Breaking news here in LA just moments ago. The Buss family has reportedly entered an agreement to sell the majority ownership of the Lakers.
Yes!
Mark.
In the face!
In the face!
Minutes So Mark Walter. Walter has interest in multiple professional sports organizations, including the Dodgers and the Sparks. Jeannie Buss will reportedly continue to serve in her role as Lakers governor.
Interesting.
The Lakers have been owned by the Buss family since 1979. All right, so some pretty dramatic news for Lakers fans particularly, and anyone here in Los Angeles.
We sold the majority, now y'all want to do it.
Yeah, you know, but we the highest price though.
What is your initial reaction to this potential sale?
I was a little shocked for a minute, but then once I had to kind of calm down and get my bearings straight. It's cool because she still sits in the power seat. Mm-hmm. It flushes the family. As you know, Rick, the family has some family dynamics or whatever. So now everybody just became billionaires in the family. All the brothers and the sisters, they get the cash out, get the money and the cash in their pocket. She stays in position. I haven't seen or read or anything, but Magic is on vacation right now, but I'm sure he got a piece of the action because it's Sparks along with the Dodgers. So he'll probably be somewhere involved in the situation. So they sold a majority share, which means that they didn't sell the entire team. So the Buss family is still involved. They just became cash flush. It's still Lakers. It's still Buss family. Things will probably be run, very similar to the way Jeannie and Dr. Buss and the rest of the Buss family have been running things for years and putting championships. I think so.
I mean, selling a majority to me says...
She's still in the governor's seat, so she's still in position.
I know, that's what surprises me.
She's still in position.
For how long?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't gotten there yet.
For 3 or 4 years, maybe.
Yeah, but maybe so.
Show them how to run the team, actually, and then step away.
That may be the case.
Reportedly
You say what, about?
$10 billion.
I told you it was more than Boston.
Yeah, that's the richest NBA franchise.
I just want you to know that, though.
Yeah, I know that.
I needed to tell you that.
Not the richest. New York is.
New York is more money than who?
New York is more valuable than the Lakers.
Oh, man, come on, man.
Now
Stop
it
that.
is. It wasn't before.
How? Who said that? Where's that at? Show me the Forbes
It's always
magazine.
listed as number one.
No, man, no. Can't be.
The most valuable?
Can't be. Ain't won nothing. What they value in the real estate?
It's the value has nothing to do with winning.
Okay.
It's the
Forbes has
market.
Warriors and the Knicks ahead of the Lakers.
Boo.
Okay. What is your reaction to this news?
I'm shocked, one, just because we didn't necessarily see it coming. There was a little bit of rumor in terms of her bouncing out, right? I think the most surprising part for me, well, I guess the most shocking part is I've always connected the Buss family with the Lakers for my entire life.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the idea that even though she's still going to be involved, not having a majority interest, having somebody else who's going to have a voice in that franchise is brand new. And I also find the timing sort of interesting. At a point where you have to make a really difficult decision on LeBron James.
What's the difficult decision?
Just the exit, how you're going to say goodbye, when you're going to say goodbye. Does he want another year? What you do with... It's just an interesting dynamic there. And that's where, is Jeannie going to have full voice on how they handle that?
I mean, if she's sitting in the main seat, I would think that she's
the representative to the league as the governor. It
understand.
doesn't necessarily mean that she's the one
controlling rights,
making
controlling
final
interests.
decision on what happens with the franchise.
Paul, what's your reaction to that news?
I think we're starting to see just a new era of ownership in basketball because I'm seeing the Dallas Mavericks get a new owner.
Yep.
Boston Celtics, new owner. Now the Lakers, I mean, the value of the franchise is definitely up around the board. And I wouldn't be shocked if we start seeing more and more franchises because you gotta think about it, a lot of these franchises was bought like 30 plus years ago. And I remember when Wick Grossbeck bought the team in the early 2000s, they bought the Celtics for like $380 million. And recently, 300, you hear that number?
We should have gapped that up. We should have all put something in.
Yeah.
$380 million and recently sold majority for $6 billion for the Celtics. And so I wonder how that's going to change. The thing I do wonder is, like, whoever the new owner is going to be, are they actually fans of the team? Are they businessmen? Are they tech people? Like, all these things really do matter when you run a franchise. It's because the Buss family were true fans of the Lakers and wanted them to succeed. Whereas you get a new owner that can come in and run it like a business.
No, I think
you know what I'm saying?
I think a fan of the Lakers because he's a part owner of the Dodgers, piece
Okay.
of the Sparks,
Okay.
Other sports
This is-
franchises and stuff
okay,
like that.
okay.
He's partners with Magic.
Okay.
So I think he's probably a fan of the Lakers.
That's important, though.
No, extremely important.
The interesting part is that we're seeing this valuation, right? You mentioned from 360-some million to $6 billion. Are owners seeing the valuation of franchises hitting a peak now, where it's like it costs, like I might as well cash out now because I don't know how much better it's going to get, and the cost of doing business continues.
Well, the cost continues to go up because there's more demanded from these franchises across the board when you're talking about recovery and travel, the amount of staff that you have, the amount of branding that you're doing. You have a social media team now. Like there's so much more that goes into running an organization and so many more people that you have to pay than you did 30 years ago. The Forbes valuation for the Warriors was at 8.8. The Knicks was 7.5, and the Lakers were evaluated at 7.1. So they've sold for much more.
Yeah.
So the Warriors were valued higher than the Knicks.
Yes.
First time, that's amazing.
The Bay Area, the real estate.
Dude, I live in the Bay Area. I know that.
I mean, the real estate.
It's tech.
If there's a real estate association with it, I don't know what the ownership group has to do with the building.
It's not only the building, but it's that entire area. It's a lot like LA Live.
Yeah, they build.
Like they have all the restaurants.
A lot
and all
of it is
that
always real
built
estate.
around
Yeah.
it.
So the real estate changes the valuation.
And then when you talk about
and Madison Square Garden doesn't have that.
when you talk about
It's
these
just the
owners
Madison Square
and
Garden.
stuff selling, it's typically owners that's been in that business for a long period of time. So now you're dealing with estate taxes. You're dealing with all of that. As you get older, you start thinking about, okay, well, what do I do from an estate standpoint? So they start selling off a lot of it so they don't have to deal with that down the line later on.
So Paul's point, though, it is interesting where a lot of these wealthy people are putting their money when it comes to sports, because as we know, sports and news are really the last things that we watch live. So the money just continues to go up.
Yeah.
People wanting to attend things live is a big demand. Sports is exploding as an overall product. We're even seeing this obviously pour over into women's sports as well.
Yep.
So everything is rising when it comes to this product overall, wherever it is that you put your money in ownership and whatever specific sport it is. So this isn't terribly surprising that people are selling right now, because it does feel like a good time if you are thinking about getting out of the business or partially out of the business, because obviously it seems like they still have some ownership in the team. But this is a bit of a changeover, because to Paul's point and to your point about the Buss family, like this was a family-owned business. It'll be interesting to see what the Cowboys eventually do. Like
And Minnesota too just sold.
Yeah,
so
these are like a real changeover. So are they running it like a business? How does that affect players? How does that affect fans? There's a lot of nostalgia associated with owners that have been there for 30 plus years. And there's people in the building that are there because they were friends with the owner, but they had the job because of that. Like there's all these different nuances within the buildings that change whenever you have an new ownership group that comes in. So really interesting. We'll see how it plays out. Coming up, Lamar Jackson's contract is top 10 in annual value, but should the two-time MVP be the highest paid player in the league? We'll talk about it next on Speak. And don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports channel on Sirius XM. Darren Waller retired after his first year with the Giants 2 seasons ago. While looking back at his last year, Waller talked about how he knew it was time to call it quits. Speak up, Darren.
I don't know if I've shared this with anybody, but I knew I was retiring when we played in Buffalo. The Giants, we were playing there. It was a game where it was really controversial because one of the guys held me at the end. They didn't call it. It was in the first quarter of the game. We were running like this counter lead running play, and I'm kind of like leading through the hole like I'm a fullback, and the play is working. But I sit down on the sideline after like a drive where we ran like 3 times, and I'm like, what the f am I doing with my life? I'm out here playing fullback. I don't even want to do this anymore. And I'm just like looking at the moon.
The moon. Did you have a moment like this when you knew you were going to retire?
You know what? I knew I was going to retire when I just called game in Washington, and I come over to the Clippers first year I was playing, but I was coming off the bench, and the guy I was coming off the bench for, I was like, man, hold on, am I slowing down or something? Like, I'm not better than him? Because, they called out the starting line. I just walked out there, assumed I was going to be starting. Like,
Nope.
Paul, we need I was like, what? Man, I started coming off the bench, and I was like, oh, yeah. Because I didn't start it. You know, I just called game. I thought I was still cool. I must have came in a step slow. I couldn't keep up. You know what? I couldn't keep up with my position no more. I was playing the small forward. I had to go to power forward. So I was like, yep, it's the beginning of the end.
That must have been rough.
I mean, like, Keyshawn went from receiver to left tackle. I mean, you know, there's no difference. Same thing.
She didn't ask me. She asked you.
Did you have a moment in Carolina when you knew you were going to retire?
Carolina Key on that sideline.
No, I just kind of like...
That one right there.
Yeah, that's...
Walking around,
I'm good.
no helmet, like, yeah, it's over.
No, I just felt like, man...
I ain't been in the game I got 2 targets.
No, I just felt like it was time. I was tired. You know? I was tired. I was like just tired of playing football. You know? So I just was like, I'm done.
But you didn't have a moment like, dang, I'm getting checked
No,
out
you know what, though?
I'm out here, can't get open.
Once, it was crazy, though. No, I ain't had that problem. But once I got to the off season, I started covering the NFL draft for that other network. And I'm up at there with Mel and everybody. We there, and the draft is going on. I'm just like, man, I don't really want to go back and play. You know, I'm like, really don't want to play football no more. And so then after the draft, they had drafted another receiver. It happened to be, come out of USC, you know, tall, got a fade, you know, dark skin, the whole thing. And I'm like, yeah, they getting ready to try to, I know what they getting ready to try to do. So I told, no, it's a true story though. So I called Marty Herney, the general manager, and he was like, yeah, you know, you don't have to come to minicamp this week. Don't worry about it because we know what you could do. We want to see the younger guys. I said, man, why don't you do me a favor? Why don't you just release me? Because I know the game.
Right.
He was like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, just cut me. So he wound up releasing me. He came across the ticker. I didn't even tell my agent. My agent comes and said, what happened, man? I said, I'm done, dog. I don't want to play football no more.
Yeah.
I was finished.
I knew going into my last
yourself?
year, though.
Yeah, I just retired
Going
myself.
into my last year, I knew.
Man, I wasn't about to do the... And then after that, though, Joy, after they released me, Carolina released me, you know, teams was calling. Seattle was calling, and I was like, I don't want to play. And so Jeff Fisher called me from Tennessee. So I knew Jeff, you know, from my USC days. So I'm like, I'm going to go visit Tennessee. But once I got to watching the film and looking at the team and seeing the quarterback situation, I said, no, I'm done, man. I ain't messing around with this dude.
You didn't need another quarterback?
Nope. No, not that dude. I'm good. Good.
You guys act like no one's going to Google who it is you guys are talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens started their mandatory minicamp this week, and while he just signed a new deal in 2023, he is now just the 10th highest paid quarterback in the league. He said he didn't want to discuss any contract negotiations with the media, but when he was asked about the likelihood that he'll become the highest paid player with his next contract, he smiled and said, quote, sounds good. So he just signed his last deal in 2023. His cap hit for 2025 is $43.5 million, but it jumps to $74.5 million in 2026 and 2027. And he'd be a free agent in 2028, which obviously they're never going to let him hit. So should Lamar be the highest paid player in the NFL, Key?
When the time comes up for him to be, yeah, he should probably be. Most likely he will be. He'll get another. I'm sitting here trying to read these numbers and talk to you at the same time. Mm-hmm. He should be when that time comes, based on cap situation. And if I'm him, which I know him and his representatives will figure it out, when I look at the guarantee column, when is my guaranteed money up? So that one, whatever it was that he got, 160 something or whatever, when does that expire? Because as soon as that expires, y'all need to see me again. It's just, you know, right. Whenever I ask for a new contract, it must be given. Right. Or else I'm gonna stay my tail home. And they don't want to go through that again. And so in the end, at $74 million, the cap continues to keep going up every single year. So that $74 million sounds crazy to us right now, but in 2027, which is 2 years from now, that cap number is gonna jump, another 25%? So whatever it is now, gonna be 25% more.
Yeah.
So that 74 ain't gonna really sound
74 is next year.
Oh, it's next year?
Yeah. It jumps to $74 million next year in 2026 and 2027.
Oh, so double, okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they gonna sing. They go, yeah, for sure they get ready to sing.
Can't run.
Yeah, he know.
Yeah,
after this season, he'll be getting a new deal. Paul, he'll be getting a new deal between the first day of the league year in training camp of next year.
Yeah.
I was looking at 27. I went all the way down to the bottom. I wasn't looking at 26.
I mean, we're talking about a guy who won 2 MVPs in the last 3 years.
Yeah, but they got to pay me.
And then runner-up to the MVP this year, this past year. And then we got Dak, the highest paid right now.
I don't know if Dak is.
He is the highest average annual value.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah, they got to see me.
this is like, hey, I'm gonna come holler at y'all next year.
Yeah, and that's
whether
why
I win a Super Bowl or not.
And that's why when they asked Lamar about it, Lamar was like, "Oh yeah, that sounds cool."
Yeah, I mean, you remember like, it was a whole thing about him getting paid the first time
Yeah,
around.
I don't see why they don't just tear it up now.
Well,
I mean, they don't need to now, but they're going to.
Yeah, we'll tear it up between the.
They're going to give him a new deal because they cannot spend $74 million.
It's like it ain't even no argument. When I looked at the list, it's like, what we arguing about? You got.
But they already though.
Annuals.
That little capologist with them glasses that sit in that room that just do numbers all day, he already penciled that in 2023. Yeah, he knew in 2023 we're gonna have to redo his deal again, Bill, in 26.
Is that how he sound?
Like that.
He sound like that?
I don't know what he sounds like. I'm just saying.
Shedeur Sanders was pulled over early Tuesday morning on a Cleveland highway for allegedly speeding. He was reportedly cited at 101 miles per hour, which was 41 over the posted speed limit. Further details surrounding the citation not been released, but Shedeur will likely have to pay a fine. So, Key, what's your reaction to this news?
That's really fast. I want him to slow down. That's number one. It just, it's something people gonna try to grab a hold of and create something out of. I mean, first of all, he's young, and I'm sure it was an open highway, and he probably I'm assuming he's got some sort of extremely fast vehicle that he just put his heavy foot, lead foot, as my mother would call it, down on the accelerator. And probably just wasn't, just trying to see where it could go. Now, don't want him doing that anymore. Don't want him doing that. And I'm sure his dad told him the same thing, and everybody else around him, because that's really 100 miles an hour. That's a lot. Anything can go wrong in that situation. But it shouldn't affect the outcome of who he is as a player based on a speeding violation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to see, sports players in the news other than what they do well in sports, or if they got any kind of views, if they want to speak their opinion, but nothing like this. And I think he understands it. Especially, you got to understand, like, he's in a position to where every little thing that's not football pertaining to him,
100%.
they're gonna grab onto that and use it as a negative.
Yeah.
Like, well, even though I get it, it's a ticket, and we all make mistakes, and for them to say, okay, 40 miles over the speed limit is something. It is something, because you could put other people's life at danger.
Yeah.
Also, you're also putting your life at danger. And so, hopefully he can learn from this, and it won't affect what he's doing every day on that field to make him better. So you don't want to hear this type of stuff, and, we all make our mistakes, but this is not something you want coming out of your camp after you already been kind of like criticized for pretty much being who you are and whose son you are. You know what I'm saying? So you don't need this extra layers or things added on to what people are going to criticize you about anyway.
Yeah, I mean, luckily no one was hurt and nothing bad happens. I think we all drive cars, so we know how fast driving 100 miles an hour is, and that's just not safe to do. Like, obviously putting other people in danger, but you're putting yourself in danger. Like, car accidents are very serious. He needs to take it seriously. I mean, we've all sped. I was speeding today on the way to work. Like, we're not exaggerating what has happened here. But for Shedeur, everything that he does is going to be picked apart.
Yeah.
Everything that he does is going to get an extra unnecessary spotlight on it. Everything that he does is going to get added to, see, this is why this, or this is why that, even if it is something as, something like speeding.
It's so wild, though, that he gets a speeding ticket and we know about it. It's a ticket.
Right, exactly. Like the fact that this is even a story is because it's him.
Like it's a ticket.
Well, he got to
it's
understand. I know it's nothing, but it is something because you got to understand that you're under the microscope, though.
No, it is something. It's
like,
something.
When you're under the microscope, you got to realize that people are going to pick apart any little thing.
But how do they even know that he got a speeding ticket is my thing. Who told who that he got a speeding ticket?
It's police officers trying to make some names.
It's Cleveland. It's Shedeur Sanders. Everybody knows who he is.
Yeah. Like, you know, it is what it is, but he got to understand you under the microscope, you walk and chew gum, they're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
The wrong way. If you do that wrong.
Do you think this will hurt his chances to start in Cleveland?
No, I don't think it hurts his chances to start. I certainly wouldn't. I certainly don't believe that it will hurt his chances as a starter because everything that he's doing off the field up until this point has been the right thing. Now, I haven't seen everything from a football standpoint on the field, but if he's doing everything right on the football field, he deserves to be the starting quarterback. He's going to be the starting quarterback. They're not going to, at least I don't think that they would dock him and punish him because he got a speeding ticket. I mean, it's...
No, I don't think this will affect him either. I think the biggest thing for any young player with an organization is understanding the jump from what your responsibilities were in college to now, especially at the quarterback position. Like, yes, you can be the face of a program. You can be very, very famous. You can get a lot of NIL money. But the NFL is a different level.
Man,
and when you're talking about the quarterback position, they're going to pick apart every single thing that you do. They want you to be the CEO of the team. They want you to be the leader of the team. So everything matters. Whether we think it's silly or not, it just does. Fares for Ferris wheels and fried Oreos. And in reality, that is what they want.
Trust me, I've been in this situation the same as this young man where I had tinted windows going to practice one day and got pulled over and didn't have my seatbelt on, and I'm like, dude, it's a tinted windows. I understand the state says no, but, you know, I want tint on my thing. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna really turn this into something?
Yeah.
Tinted windows and no seatbelt? Like, we really get ready to turn this into something?
Well, coming up, does LeBron have a point that we are too obsessed with championship rings? That's next on Speak. Hey, go Cats, go. Last night, the Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup for the second straight year, and Matthew Tkachuk talked about his path to getting healthy since suffering an injury earlier this year. Speak up, Matthew.
All the support staff that doesn't get a lot of credit, I would not be here without them, and I owe them this one.
Do you think the average fan has any idea what you went through, and what did you go through?
I tore my adductor off the bone, and then had some hernia thing, and all on the same side.
Off the rib cage, huh?
Please repeat what you just said, Paul.
Your abs got bones? Like, what? How your abs got bones? You tore your
abductor.
Oh, the abductor? Is that something different than the abs?
A little different.
I'm just saying, where's the abductor then? Is it up here or, I mean, I don't know where the abductor
Your abs
is.
got bones?
Man, come on, I don't know where the abductor
It's in his
is.
thigh.
Let me pass this to Rick.
Adductor.
Let me pass
Oh, the
this to
adductor.
No, don't pass that this way.
Adductor,
Do not
not
pass it.
abs.
No, let me pass that to abductor.
Let me pass
I'm
this.
not participating in
bones.
this.
My abs got bones, you know.
No,
that's
the
what this
ribs,
is
the
doing.
ribs. But down here, my abs ain't got
You
nothing but
took your
flat.
floating rib out? Did you take your floating rib out or something, Paul?
No, but that's crazy. Off the bone, and he also said he had a hernia on
That's
the same
wild.
side.
Yeah, there's a little hernia thing.
A little hernia
That's a
thing.
hockey player.
What did you think about the match,
Some
man?
hernia thing
was great.
and the adductor off the bone.
That's cap.
What do you mean
ain't
it's
no
cap?
You tore something off your bone?
Yeah, he said
And
it
you
was
play
injured.
hockey?
Yeah, hockey
but
players
that's the
feel
difference
different.
between football, hockey, and basketball. Y'all nail can crack and y'all done.
Nail crack?
Yeah, y'all done. Oh, I can't shoot, I can't handle the ball. That's what y'all do.
I came back after my wheelchair, after I tore my meniscus. Yeah, you saw that. After I tore my meniscus, I came
You
back.
can't even tear him in this.
Now you got the
tore my
torn. You
meniscus.
got the torn. Yesterday it was a strain. It was a strain meniscus.
Oh,
After I
God.
tore my meniscus, I jumped out the wheelchair and finished the finals.
Oh, man.
So, I mean, same thing.
See? Florida Panthers. On the verge
Your
of a
bro
dynasty.
was there. Did he go last night?
That's right. We can talk dynasty
I don't
with
think he was there
Panthers.
last night, but he did the
I know
drum
he
the
did
other
the
night.
drum the other
Yeah.
night.
Yes.
Doom, doom.
Now they can talk about a dynasty.
Yep.
Back-to-back Stanley Cup.
But they still need one. They're not there
They
yet.
need one more, but they are on the verge. They're close to it. 5-1 victory for the championship. From one champion to another, LeBron has won 4 titles, but on his latest podcast, he talks about how there's been a ring culture where championships have weighed too much when talking about players' greatness. Let's take a listen.
Like, okay, you weren't a great player if you never won a championship. Yeah. It's like, or if you won one, then you can't be in the same conversation with this person. You sit here and you tell me, you know, Allen Iverson and Charles Barkley and Steve Nash, you know, our wasn't unbelievable. Like, oh, they can't be talked about or discussed with these guys is because this guy won 1 ring or won 2 rings or won, like, it's just weird to me. It's like saying Peyton Manning can't be in the same room with Brady or Mahomes because he only has 1 ring. They don't never discuss that in their sport.
Right.
Or telling me that Dan Marino is not the greatest slinger of all time. Or he can't be in the room with those guys because he didn't win a championship. They don't discuss those things.
Paul, do you agree with LeBron about ring culture?
Well, there has to be a measuring stick. And why do we play the game? You know, is it for the fame? Is it for the fortune? Because as a kid, you play to win. And you are always measured on how much you won. And sports will always be that way. Now, I remember LeBron left Cleveland to chase rings in Miami. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't that about trying to get a ring?
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
Right? Because he was trying to fulfill his legacy. You know, and same with Kevin Durant. So it just begs the question, like I said earlier, why do we play? You know, is it for fun? Is it for money? Is it for fame? Because I've always played to win, to be the best. And that's how we are measured as individuals, because when you are winning rings, it's proven that you are the best. And so it's kind of hypocritical for Bron to kind of say this, being that he went to Miami, then back to Cleveland, then to LA in search of rings. And that's how we measure sports across the board. In order to be the greatest, yeah, you can have all these. I could be on a bad team and have all the individual stats, but it doesn't make you great if you don't win. And that's why we measure players to that degree on how much you win and how many rings or trophies you got. It's all measured, and there is levels to this. You can't come to the Truth Lounge and just get in the VIP. You know, it's certain status that you gotta have or a certain type of bankroll. Same in sports. It just is what it is. Some players are general admission, some players are VIP, and then you got others who are VIP. And that's the upper echelon. So it just is what it is.
No, you know, the one thing in my career, you know, I was never, it's weird because I never was chasing a gold jacket. I didn't want to play forever to get a gold jacket, right? The numbers sometimes will kick you over the top. The longer you play, the longevity, the numbers, you could do those things. But I did not want to be a guy that played and wasn't a significant part of a team that won a championship. I wanted to be a significant part of that team to get a ring, because when my career was on, he was cool, he was good, but he never won a championship.
Yeah.
So my focus was, I need to get a damn ring. I got to figure it out.
How important was it that you were a significant part of that too? Not just get a ring, but that I'm a good reason why.
Our defense was about 75% of the reason that we won the championship, but offensively, we pushed the needle at the level we needed to, and I was a significant part of that.
Yeah.
It's just the system I was in, but when they threw the damn ball, they knew who they was throwing it to. You see what I'm saying? So that was important to me, because when you're at the table at the conversation, just think about these owners that have teams, Joy. Owners that have teams, Rick, they go to these, and I like to say West Palm Beach, because that's where they always had their little meetings at that hotel. Some of them dudes walking around there, they can get into the conversation, but the conversation ain't the same. They can't use the same words. They can't sit at the same exact seat that Jerry and Mr. Rooney and the Tisch family can sit in. Mr. Kraft got a whole separate table over there by himself with all his rings laid out. And there's other guys that just look at him and go, What's it like to win a Super Bowl and have a
Yeah.
post-Super Bowl party? They own the teams. They got billions. They all got yachts. But they don't have a ring. Think about that. Right. They all buy them big old 300-foot yachts and helicopters and all. But if you ain't got a ring, you look like a different owner.
I don't remember. I don't know if you ever saw this, Joy, with Mickey Arison. And I wish I could remember who the owner was. But I remember Mickey was talking to the owner, to this other owner. And he was wearing his championship ring, and I forget what they were talking about. And Mickey just rubbed his cheek, let him know, let him see that ring. Because it's like, I got one of these and you don't.
Think about like for instance, like, I don't know, the Spanos family from the Chargers. They've gone to a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. They got a ring. When they looking at Mr. Kraft and Jerry, even though Jerry got him 30 years ago, he still got rings. Mr. Kraft, he got so many damn rings, they're going to give him another hand.
It just feel better, like, talking to like I was in the room with, like, the top 75, right? So I look over, I see Magic, Isaiah, and Mikal. I got it on video. So it felt good, me having a ring to go, hey, what's up, fellas? How y'all doing? I'm in the room, like, whereas you seeing other guys who, like, kind of sitting off over there. Like,
when they shake your hand, it don't clink, because they ain't got their ring on. They don't clink.
Yeah, everybody got their ring. Everybody who won got their little ring on at the top 75. We all in the back before we all walk out. So I'm over there like, I feel good walking over there like, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, my guy?
What's up, my guy?
You confident? You confident? Yeah.
I will say this. Look, LeBron has a point in that I feel as if in some ways we've become too obsessed with the ring as a defining thing. Does it make a difference? No question. But there are a lot of players, there are a lot of great players that we now kind of dismiss. Or it's like, he's only got 2. He's not as good as the number 4. I think how you get them and the role that you played in getting them is an important element to that. LeBron is not the one, though, to be having this conversation. At least not with having the awareness of saying, you know what, I contributed to this. Mm-hmm. Like, I realize now that it's gone too far. Right. But to Paul's point, I went to 2 different places because I bought into the ring culture. Mm-hmm. And I said, after we beat the Golden State Warriors for the 2016 title, this made me the GOAT. If you're not buying into the ring culture, how can you say that winning that championship defined you as the greatest of all time? So I agree with him, but dude, you're the one who helped create this obsession with rings as a defining factor in judging players. So unless you're acknowledging that you did that, I don't want to hear you talking about how people are being dismissive of great players.
Well, great players do not have to have a title in order to be a great player. But there is a difference between a champion and a great player. We have a measurements in sports. We aren't playing for individual awards. Even in individual sports, we are playing to win. You are running the 100-meter dash to win. You're not doing it to set your own personal record. You're not running it just to set the record for your country. You're running to win the race. You play to win the game, right? You play to win the game.
I hear you.
So that is important. There's just a separator. It doesn't mean that these other players aren't great. And that's where I would agree with him. Like, saying that a player isn't great because they don't have a championship is incredibly silly. There are massively impactful players who have changed the course of whole franchises, that have changed the course of a sport, that didn't have titles. Because especially in team sports, there's so much out of your control. You guys know there's so much that has to happen in order for you to win a championship. Where you go, who the coaches are, what your quarterbacks are. So health. There's so many things. It's so hard to win a championship, just to win one. I mean, we talk about Aaron Rodgers, and we put him in the same breath as a lot of players. He's been to and won 1 Super Bowl. But him having that 1 Super Bowl,
you could have that conversation.
You could have that conversation because he won that 1 Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
But he mentioned Allen Iverson. You obviously have Barkley, Karl Malone, John Stockton, Reggie Miller, like Vince Carter, Dan Marino, Barry Sanders, Randy Moss, Warren Moon. You're not Eric Dickerson. Like, you're not saying these are not great players. They are all-time great players. They're Hall of Famers. They had significant contributions. Some of these players, people say are the best. Like some people say that Barry Sanders is the best running back that has ever played the game. He doesn't have a championship, and we know why.
If Dan Marino had one championship,
we'd look at him in a different light.
You'd have a different conversation. You'd start to talk about, on a constant basis, that top quarterback spot because of everything else that he was able to do. It's like, we all like cake for the most part, but for some reason, cake with icing on it just tastes a little bit better, right? Just 100%. It just tastes a little bit better.
You get that carrot cake with the icing. Ooh.
But if I gave you a carrot cake, without the cream icing, you would be like, okay, it's cool. But then if I throw the icing on top, you're gonna be like, damn,
Keith. Have red velvet.
Give you the red velvet without the icing?
Without the icing?
Without the icing.
See, but if I put the icing on, it's like me giving you the ring.
Right.
Same thing.
Here's the thing, though.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Same thing.
It's good, but that ring make it better.
Right. How much is this LeBron realizing I'm at a place now where the ring conversation for GOAT doesn't get me there?
Well, because if you start
so let's change the conversation.
Yeah, because you start throwing that out.
He's got a better case.
Are you saying that he now realizes that he's probably not going to get another ring? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Yeah.
But a ring is not the only measurement of success. There are individual awards. There are individual records. There are individual contributions that players have within team sports that do count and matter. We talk about how many All-NBAs players have.
Looks different.
We talk about how many MVPs players have. We talk about how many Finals MVPs that players have. And we always, measure them up against other greats. So rings are not the only things that matter. There are players who have won more rings than the greatest.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So it's not the only measurement.
Right.
So I do understand what LeBron is saying, and that's why the conversation when you say, okay, well, he just don't have as many rings. Like, well, that's not the only way to measure a player's greatness, and it doesn't negate a player from being great if they don't have one.
But I'd also say that we don't do it just by rings, because otherwise Bill Russell, I think, would be more in the conversation.
Unanimous GOAT.
Right?
Yeah.
And he's not. I can't help it.
But you also are talking to individuals about Bill Russell that never seen him play.
Yeah.
So they're not going, they're not going to appreciate it the same way.
We include nuance in arguments when we want to, and we usher it out the door when it doesn't serve us.
Yeah.
But what I will say about it, though, is we're also a bit spoiled. I don't know if spoiled is the right word, but it makes the conversation hard when you've got a guy like Tom Brady winning 6 championships and then leaving and immediately winning another championship into his 40s. It makes it tough. It's tough when you've got Jordan being perfect in NBA Finals.
Never going to Game 7.
Watched him never getting to a Game 7, and we watched him be
MVP.
The vessel for this dynasty. Yeah. Like, that's hard. It's hard to watch that and just say, okay, well, we're going to make these other concessions to allow other people into the conversation. Like, sometimes there's just some guys who are, they have their own table. Like, they just get their own table.
Yep. Right.
They get their own table, their own server.
Tom Brady and Mike get their own table.
They get to keep their cigars and their wine in their locker, and nobody else has access to that.
Even Jordan's celebration was different than everybody else. It just looked different. Mm-hmm. Well, I was looking at it just now. I'm like, damn, that's cool.
You know what it is?
It just looked different.
You know what it is? It's not. He's not.
No, it just looked different. But
you know what it is?
The one where he stood up and it just looked different.
Because you know what it is? He's not surprised by it.
Look at that. It just looked different.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I'm just letting you know I did it again. Okay? I knew I was going to do it again.
That looks different.
But I'm letting you know I did it again. That's the difference.
And look, like I ain't even talking to you, Chuck. I'm gone. Like, it's just different.
I'm gone,
With
man.
hoops, the Indiana Fever won their second straight game since Caitlin Clark's return from injury, beating the Connecticut Sun 88-71 last night. But things got spicy in the third quarter when J.C. Sheldon poked Clark in the eye when reaching in to swipe at the ball. After the whistle, Marina Mabry, I cannot read right now, Mabry, knocked Clark to the floor, earning the technical foul. And then with 40 seconds left in the game, Fever guard Sophie Cunningham took Sheldon down with a hard foul in the fast break, which led to a bench-clearing shuffle. That was quite the setup for what was some back and forth. This isn't the first time we've seen this type of treatment from opponents, but Rick, is the physicality against Caitlin Clark justified?
Yes. One, because she's really good, and you're, with any great player, you're going to try to intimidate physically if you can. And two, because she brings it on. She talks trash. She lets you know when she's putting it in your eye. She walks around the floor, whether it's with the referees, whether it's with the opponent, whether it's with anybody, as if she's the baddest woman on the planet, if not on the court. And she has the ability to back that up. I don't have any issue with that. But when you have that swag, you're going to get some pushback. And she gives as good as she gets. This idea, see, and like that whole exchange there, like this, right? Like if you're going to do that, then you better expect that people are going to come for your head. That's just, it's as simple as that. She's not a victim, right? She's not being bullied, okay? She's getting what somebody who believes I'm the best here and I'm going to let you know and I'll put it in your face. People are going to come back at you when you do that. It's as simple as that.
I mean, there's no way. Look. Players like this come around once, sometimes in our lifetime. Mm-hmm. There hasn't been
once in a generation, certainly.
But no player in NBA, in WNBA history has had to deal with this, right?
What?
What she's dealing with.
What? What is she dealing with?
Fouling from day one. Already, but she's been crowned. I mean, she's already. Nobody who was the face of the league in the first few years of the WNBA?
I'll tell you the physicality of the game. I went to the Seattle Valkyrie game.
Who?
No. It's not any one player. It's not any one player.
Think about the stars.
But the game is also WNBA. The W game has evolved though, Paul, since it's entered into. It's just. It's
but like, who can we
now.
say in the NBA got this type of treatment? Jordan got this treatment.
Yeah.
The Jordan rules.
Sure.
First the fifth, they slammed. First the Celtics. Like Jordan got this, right?
Yeah.
I really can't, like, maybe LeBron a little bit. Maybe not like at this level.
Yeah.
But like, we're looking at a player who came in and is at the face of the league in their first year. They brought fanfare. They brought an attitude. They brought something that we all gravitated to now.
Yeah.
And they don't like that at such a young age. They're looking at her like,
sure.
Man, who is this?
Sure.
Like, why is she getting all, why is this? And we're not going to see this again in our lifetime. I'm going to be like somewhere in heaven on the beach next time a player like this come around in the WNBA.
Beach heaven?
Well, you don't think Juju Watkins is like that?
She's not going to have this.
She doesn't have this, but this isn't just talent.
Think about this. Who can we think of in the NBA that had this? Only Jordan.
So crazy you mentioned Juju. I was just talking about her the other 2 days ago about her ability and what she gonna be and how she gonna be. Mm-hmm. And they was just like basically saying she get ready to, if she comes back healthy the way they envision, the WNBA gonna be hers for keeping.
This is different, bro. This is different. And I know Juju is great, but she didn't get the fanfare out of college that she got.
But it's beyond talent. It's not just talent. It's her swag, and it's her arrogance, and it's her story. She doesn't look like she should be this good.
Yeah.
She's not physically, like Juju. You look at her and her ability and her athleticism. She works you like. But you got this little white girl, this 6 foot skinny white girl, doesn't look like she's particularly fast, and she's lighting you up. And she does it in a different way even than Steph. This isn't just hitting logos. Because Steph will shimmy and he'll celebrate, but he's not looking at somebody.
No, she does. She's got some arrogance to her and some swag to her, but you know, I don't think. Look, last year they beat her up a little bit when she came into the league.
Came in face of the league.
But that was part. I don't necessarily know if it was just the face of the league or they were doing it from an intimidation standpoint because they knew that she would eventually be good and they wanted to send a message, and it just carries over. All it's doing is carrying over this year. That's all it is. It ain't. Look, that's the way they play. They're more physical than they were in the past.
It's just a lot of animosity toward her because of what she's been given. It's such an early age.
But that animosity, though, some of that is her own doing, too, though, Paul.
Man, she's
by her
just,
attitude.
Man, and her attitude, what? She don't cause fights. She don't hard foul out there. She just busting everybody up night in and night out. And everybody's is hot that she's getting the commercials. She's probably going, do she got a shoe? Hold on. Do she got a shoe? Or she got one in the making? You know, it's like, damn, she getting all of this because other players
may have a shoe.
Because other players say, I came in and was doing the same thing.
But she's got everything else.
You know, I came in, like, you can look at Candace Parker. She came in, was the MVP as a rookie. We didn't give her what she's getting.
Did she act like that?
Now, no.
Did she act like that?
Act like what?
Act like I'm the baddest.
I'm walking out here, I'm better than all y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhat, I like that.
Right, but hold on.
I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just saying she's doing it.
Caitlin Clark should act exactly
how she's acting. Exactly.
I'm not saying she shouldn't.
She better have some squabbles.
Thank you.
Some squabbles?
Thank you.
Period.
Thank you.
I don't say nothing crazy that I can't back up. Not a single thing.
Okay.
Not never, nowhere.
Talk that talk there, Joy. Go on, talk that talk. I'm listening.
Talk that talk.
And I will, and did. And sometimes somebody bigger than you
come back at
and
you.
stronger than you might, or just catch you slipping, might have a problem with that. And you know what you do? You bust their ass on the other end of the court. Or right there. Or put it in her eye and keep it moving. She's not shy and she shouldn't be. She shouldn't be any less, I don't even like the word arrogant. She shouldn't be any less confident than she is. She shouldn't change anything about how she plays. She is not a victim. It is so frustrating to hear this. It's hard, I think, for some people who are new to the WNBA to understand the physicality. You're not watching the NBA. The WNBA is physical. There are fights every night.
It's a ground game.
They're going to fight. It's scrappy. It's extremely physical. You are not watching the NBA. And the refs are, for the most part, going to let it happen.
They're not that good.
And Caitlin Clark knows what she's dealing with. And she's a grown woman.
Yeah.
You stop caping up like this is like, what do you expect everyone to do? Here's my frustration with this competition situation. So you expect, people who have a problem with this, who are like putting on their robes for Kayla, which, by the way, she never asked for. And probably hates.
And doesn't complain.
And doesn't complain about it. Do you expect all the other ladies in the WNBA to show up? You know what? We're playing Caitlin tonight. Let's be very demure. Let's make sure that we play very clean basketball. We're going to make sure that we don't touch her too much. If things get physical, just remember she's the face of the league. Please. It's sprinkled with misogyny,
So stupid.
obviously. But the bigger point is she is a professional athlete, and she is one of the best, and she's ascending into being the best in the WNBA. She's fine.
Right.
Okay. Well said. Well done.
Woo. Way to go.
Well done.
Boy, on fire.
Case
She got
closed.
her own squabbles. She'll be fine.
Bring it on.
Coming up with a questionable Tyrese Halliburton. How can the Pacers force a Game 7? That's next on Speed.
We're going to put a bow on that, Joy.
Thank you. Thank you.
I already love same-day delivery with Shipt, but it's so much better since I signed up for Target's Circle 360. Why? Because I no longer pay price markups from the majority of stores through Shipt. Only a handful of alcohol retailers and items don't count. That means no markups on groceries, pet food, even home goods and makeup. So to recap, I have more time to catch up on life while someone shops for me, and I spend less. It's a win-win. Order now at shipt.com/360. Terms apply.
Crystal Paul was a little off with his prediction for Game 5, but he's more confident than ever that he has something for Game 6 tomorrow night. Crystal Paul, what are you seeing?
All right. What do we have here? Mirror, mirror on the wall. What do I see in my Crystal Paul?
Crystal Paul.
Wait. I see.
What is with the mirror?
I see Halliburton coming out of the MRI.
Okay.
He's going to play, guys. No worries, he's gonna play. He's a little hampered. I see steak and shakes everywhere. Crowd filling the room.
Insane.
Towels flying. Indiana's off to a great start.
Okay.
Wow, SGA has been phenomenal in all this. Wow. This game is insane, guys.
This game is insane.
Indiana's making it run. They're keeping their turnovers down. This is unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
I can't believe it. They're actually, Rick Carlisle made adjustments. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. I see adjustments made by Rick. They're switching more on defense. Pacers take an early lead. I'm drawing blank. It's skipped to the fourth quarter. I see the Pacers still leading, though. Halliburton not really having a good game, then all of a sudden, he's turning it up, guys.
Wow.
Halliburton's going to play well. Pacers look like they're going to move on to Game 7. I see it. Rick Carlisle, the big story I'm seeing is the adjustments by Rick Carlisle. He found a way to finally slow down Jalen Williams. Wow, he won't have 40, guys.
Okay.
He will not have 40. In the end, steak and shakes for all you Pacers fans. We're going to see a Game 7 in the last game of the season in Indiana. I feel it coming. Woo. I'm sweating. Gosh, guys. Take this off of me.
You are sweating.
Gosh, that was powerful.
Crystal Paul.
That was powerful.
Summoning
Indiana.
the future.
Indiana walks away with a win.
So they get to a Game 7.
That's powerful, yo. Woo. I got a headache.
All right. You need some
I can't keep going
ghost
in
blood?
and out of these realms.
I feel like you should open up a shop on Hollywood Boulevard,
These realms, man.
Rick?
Seriously, yo.
You have any thoughts?
I'm aging.
I can
I'm
take
aging
over.
every time I do these.
I'm ready.
I have
I can
these
take over.
visions.
I'm ready.
Rick.
Wow.
How do the
That was
Pacers
incredible.
force a Game 7?
Let's see.
What's going to happen here? I've seen it already. I've seen the light.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing there? Wow.
You don't see it?
No,
You don't see it?
There's so many things that have to happen right. Andrew Nembhard and Tyrese Halliburton have to get back their confidence. For whatever reason, both of them just stopped shooting the ball.
All right.
To your point, Rick Carlisle has to find some defensive adjustments to slow them down. But at this point, I don't even know if that's enough. The Thunder are on such a roll right now, and they played the end of that last game like we smell blood in the water. Like, and you've said it, Paul, that the longer you play against an opponent, the more you get comfortable and you understand what they can and can't do. And I think that's when the talent really comes out.
Yes.
And I've always felt that Oklahoma City was the better talented team, and that the only chance that the Pacers had were the adjustments that Rick Carlisle was going to make. And when they got to 2-1 and they had a chance to make it 3-1, I thought that was their window. And then when it went 2-2, I felt like that window closed. So I just, at this point, up 3-2 with one win away from getting it, it feels like all the momentum is going in one direction. And I don't believe that being at home is going to be enough to turn the tide.
You know, being at home certainly will help the role players play much better than they did in Game 4. There's no question about that. But they got to cut down their turnovers. You can't have 23 turnovers in Game 5 compared to OKC's 11 and then letting OKC capitalize 32 points on those turnovers. And if Halliburton does, I know, right, the blue eyes with the shirt, the hat, I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, Joy, I'm sitting there and I'm saying to myself, if he walks through the airport like that, I can only imagine.
The blue steel.
Yeah, he's just like, come on, man. But anyway, if Halliburton doesn't play, or better yet, isn't 100% to the point where he can be a significant asset to them,
I mean,
it's really over.
He's not going to be 100%.
Yeah, but
So can he put together an effort in Game 6?
But no one is ever. But no one's ever 100%.
Yes,
in professional
but he's
sports.
literally.
But he played 34 minutes after whatever he did, twisted his ankle, whatever it was. He played 34 minutes after that at full tilt. It was ineffective. So, you know, he's got to do more.
He does. I think that he can put together, you know, a Herculean effort and do whatever it is he has left in him to force a Game 7. It's going to take it's going to take a cleaner game from the Pacers. Like, we know that. That's obvious.
That's for starters.
You cannot continue to turn the ball over at the pace that they're turning the ball over. Whatever adjustment they need to make to do that, they've got to do. You're not going to make the Thunder less viable on defense. So it's something that you are doing that is causing this high level of turnovers, and they're like half-court turnovers. So it's like you're turning the ball over, they're immediately scoring on these fast breaks. So you have to find a way to adjust to that, and everyone has to have their best effort. Like if your number one guy in Halliburton is not 100%, which we know he's not. I know everyone's injured at this point, but Halliburton legitimately has something that is hampering him right now. everyone is going to have to step up. Siakam, we don't say his name enough. Siakam's going to have to step into that role. Yeah. He's going to have to make up for the scoring. He's going to have to make up for the playmaking if they're going to force a Game 7. But the good news is they're at home. Mm-hmm. So that's to their advantage in this particular situation. I do think that it's possible. I can get the vibes from the crystal ball.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Okay.
The Pacers can force Game 7 by, one, making adjustments. And what I mean by that on the defensive, the turnovers are fine, but on the defensive end, and here's some clips I want to show about getting up on the picks. When Jalen and SGA right here, when SGA's coming down there, they changed up by setting the pick higher. Look, at this point, I need Miles Turner to be up on the pick and soft trap this. He can't just have a straight line drive to the basket to where now I'm causing you to help and getting easy layups in that matter. Because it happened all game. See, the adjustment, they raised the screen higher, and you can't be back on the pick because when you're back at the pick, on the pick, you're at the guard's mercy. You have to be up. And it happened all game. And this is the adjustment now. Same thing with J-Dub. They set the pick early. Look, his defender is back on the pick. So now he's downhill versus the big. He can't move his feet fast enough against the guards, and he's getting to the basket. The big has to be up. That has to be the adjustment. Now, if the big is not going to be up, I'm going to have to go with a smaller guarding that so he can be up and switch. Yep. Because I can't have the two heads of the snake coming downhill at my bigs on defense getting layups. That's a small adjustment. If they can clean that up, take them out their comfort zone, sometimes either switch that or maybe trap that to get the ball out of their hands, it gives themselves a better chance moving forward. Because if I know going into the locker room as Pacers, who do we have to stop? SGA and J-Dub. Well, we can't let them combine for 70 freaking points. And when we know they're going to be coming down at us. So let's do something to make them uncomfortable, get the ball out of their hands, trap sometimes, give them different looks, which they haven't all series long. You've been picking up full. And also, if Nembhard and Nesmith aren't going to be giving me anything offensively, then I got to go offense. I have to go with Mathurin a little bit sooner. So those are some of the things I want to see going into Game 6 if they're able to extend the series to a Game 7.
Well, coming up, are Lamar and the Ravens or Josh and the Bills more likely to win the Super Bowl this season? That is next on Speak. Time to check in on our social life. LeBron James has had a prolific basketball career, but what could he do as an actor? He said he would be open to an acting career, say, quote, I would love to explore, and if the script starts rolling and there's an opportunity for me to do some acting, I don't mind looking at it. Hey, Sean, you've done some acting in your life?
Yeah, what's that?
I said, yeah, what's happening? That's what you said?
I think we're doing on the back end, right?
Yeah, what's happening? Oh, yeah, this you, King?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, what's happening, baby girl?
Ooh, Slim.
Look at Slim. Oh, my God. Queen, you pulled the queen, huh?
Yeah.
What was your line?
Man, I forgot, man. I don't even remember.
You know what I'm saying?
You did not forget.
You know what I'm saying?
No, she asked something.
Keyshawn Johnson.
She was asking me something, and then
he was like, yeah.
And she was just complimenting my looks.
What did she say? Feed me his lines.
No, she said. She did
not compliment your lips.
Yeah, looks.
Oh my God.
And so I just was like, yeah, whatever you want, basically is what I said. Y'all crazy, man.
Look at this suit.
The suit? What's wrong with my suit?
Oh, you looking fine
that was
right
the time.
There. You looking fresh.
The Michael Jordan tie on with the little bitty, that's the Michael Jordan collar.
Do you think LeBron would be a good actor?
I mean, I guess.
I mean, he's been in movies before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I guess he could do it.
I think he would.
What, though?
I need to do the remake. I'll be good in the remake of Boomerang.
I got to see Boomerang again.
Right there.
Oh, there you go. Right
Oh, my God.
Hey, let's bring it.
Is that Layla right there?
No, that's Halle Berry.
And who's the other?
And that's
Holly. Is that Layla Rashawn?
No, that's Robin Givens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're gonna do the remake?
Yeah, I can do the remake of that. Yeah.
I think LeBron would.
No, LeBron need to play a role. Like LeBron could do the remake of what was that movie with Bruce Lee and Kareem?
Airplane?
Enter the Dragon?
Enter the Dragon.
Enter the Dragon.
Like, it'd be him and Jackie Chan head up. Like the new remake of the Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
He could do a couple remakes.
I didn't see Space Jam.
Jackie Chan is 71 years old, Paul.
You know, they could AI him and stuff.
I didn't see Space Jam.
Yeah, he really got old, huh?
Did you?
I liked it.
Yeah, it's just hard for me because of Jordan. Jordan did it. It's hard for me to now watch.
No, I mean, I love the original Space Jam, obviously, but I like the remake. Jumping into some football, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens lost to Josh Allen and the Bills in the AFC divisional round last season by 2 points. Lamar hasn't forgotten it, and instead it will fuel the team this season. Let's take a listen.
Before it was like, oh, you can't win a playoff game. No, we won a playoff game. We got to the AFC Championship 2 years ago. And we just fell short, like 2 games short this year. But we're going to bounce back. And when we come back, I feel like we're going to have vengeance on our mind.
Ooh. Vengeance. Who do you have more faith in, the Ravens or the Bills to win the Super Bowl this year?
I got more faith in the Ravens. It seems right. They just actually signed, what is it, Jair Alexander from Green Bay. He came over, he played with Lamar at Louisville. So I just feel like it's something about Harbaugh and that group. They're always there. They re-signed. They gave Derrick Henry an extension. It feels right. You know, you kicking at the door, and eventually you kick that door in. And remember, I got Kansas City taking a slight step back. Mm-hmm. They'll still make the playoffs or whatnot, but they won't be hosting the AFC Championship game in Arrowhead this year. I think the AFC Championship will go back through Baltimore again like it did a couple years ago, even though Kansas City went in there and won.
Yeah, I don't see it, Key, because I think Buffalo's going to win their division. Baltimore's going to have a lot harder time winning their division. And if you got to go through Buffalo in the AFC Championship, I got to go with the Bills. You know, Josh is coming off an MVP year. I expect him to be in those conversations again, along with Lamar. But I think just him knowing that he can get there to that championship game and having, they had the home field advantage this year. No, they didn't. Chiefs had it again, huh?
Yeah, Chiefs had it, yeah.
If the Bills can get home field advantage in the AFC Championship game, I got them coming out of the AFC. I truly believe they're going to get over the hump because they've gotten better every year.
But what they should do,
allow Baltimore to play the Chiefs.
No, what they should do is lose to the Chiefs
during the regular season.
In the regular season on purpose.
Yeah. I mean, they're the only team out of everybody that's had the Chiefs numbered throughout the regular season. So they're confident that they can beat them. They know they can beat them. It's just they got to get it done in the playoffs.
They're the same team to me. They're built the same, coached the same, play kind of the same style of ball. They're almost identical. Yeah. Both dual-threat quarterbacks, good run games, well-coached. I think Baltimore's defense may be a higher end than Buffalo by a little bit. I mean, great fan bases. They both play in the cold. They both been to AFC Championship games. They both won MVPs. I think it's whoever doesn't run into Kansas City. That's what it's been for them. Now, I'm not assuming that Kansas City is going to take a step back, but
step back mean they're not going to be in the AFC Championship game to me. That's all.
So you think it's going to be Buffalo?
I got Baltimore penciled in, and then we'll go from there. I got Baltimore penciled in, and then let's see how everything else shakes out.
Yeah, I think they're both right here. They're both right here. It's who ends up being the healthiest at the end and what the path is to the Super Bowl to me.
Let me see. What else the schedule? Ooh, they play each other on the first game.
You sure that's the right schedule?
Yeah, 2025 schedule. They play.
You give him one bad schedule. He's gonna check it every time.
They play each other first game of the season.
Yeah, Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
Ooh, at Buffalo?
Yeah.
I think whoever win that game going.
Well, then they need to let Kansas City win then.
No. Baltimore and Buffalo.
Oh, Baltimore.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
And then Baltimore got to play at Kansas City where they can't. I don't know about that. They don't play. Oh, yeah, they play. Okay.
Buffalo plays Kansas City at home, week 9.
Yeah, week 9, they at the crib.
Buffalo got more of a favorable schedule, man. Look at Baltimore's schedule, though.
Yeah, Baltimore got a tough schedule.
They got a tough schedule.
Yeah.
See,
that's why I got Buffalo. I had Buffalo winning 15 or 16 games when I looked at their schedule. It's 15 or 16, I don't remember. But that doesn't mean that Baltimore can't do the same, or Baltimore can't go into Buffalo and win in the playoffs.
Man, this is tough, Baltimore.
I think they're going to be very close this year, the two of them. Coming up, we'll tell you if it's fair or foul that teams only want to trade for KD for jersey sales.
Man.
That's next on Speak.
Choice Hotels get you more for your money so you can maximize any road trip. Like these road trippers making waffles and eating fresh fruit in their natural habitat. The breakfast area at a Comfort Inn. I just love seeing a vacation maximized in the wild. Check into more. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
It's time for fair or foul. I'm going to read off some relevant news items and we'll tell you if they're fair or foul. By the way, it was not End of the Dragon, it was Game of Death, Paul.
Game of Death.
Game of Death.
Right,
Game
of Death.
Let's start in the NBA. An NBA scout says that the teams that are in pursuit of Kevin Durant this offseason aren't focused on winning. The anonymous scout said that a move to bring KD in at this point is about selling jerseys, not wins. Fair or foul, Paul?
That's a super foul. If you bring in Kevin Durant in and sell some jerseys, come on now. You bring in Kevin Durant in to try to win a championship. I don't want to hear that. You know what I hate about all this? Put your name on it then, if you feel that way. Put your name on it.
Well, you know that's not going to happen.
That's not
right. Exactly.
But think about it. It doesn't even sound right, though, Joy. Sell some jerseys. So KD is scheduled, I think, to make about $54 million this year. And whoever trades for him is going to give him at least a 2-year extension. So let's say 160. So you looking at, you about 54 plus 120. You're looking at probably about 170 of monies over the next 3 years they're going to have to pay him. It's a lot of damn jerseys they're going to have to sell to make it up.
Yeah, I think this is why this is coming from a scout and not a GM. Jersey sales are important, guys, but hardly what pays the bills in the building.
They could sell jerseys in his whole career to make that up.
Yeah,
you know that, right?
That is not what's bringing the money in to pay the bills. Sticking with hoops, LeBron has played 22 years in the NBA, so he's seen a lot of different defenders. But he says that Ron Artest, now known as Metta World Peace, was the toughest matchup he's faced. Key, fair or foul?
I would say that's fair. I mean, if that's what he feels, that's the toughest matchup. I mean, I don't know all the defenders that he's seen throughout his career, but a hell of a lot. Mm-hmm. But if he thinks that Metta gave him the most problems, I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think it's fair too. Metta's one of the all-time great defenders. He was an issue for me also, one of the tough defenders that we'll ever see on the perimeter. That's fair for me. I can get it because he's one of the few guys who have the lateral quickness with the strength to keep up with LeBron.
Yeah, I'm going fair also, all-time great defender. Desmond Bane is on the Magic now, and he's already taking shots at his former team. Bane said that the facilities in Orlando are way better than they were in Memphis. He said Grizzlies players refer to the windowless practice facility as the dungeon.
Dang.
That sounds fun.
Shots fired.
Key, fair or foul?
Oh, man, I think that's 100% fair. I mean, you gotta think.
Have you worked in different facilities? Like, have you gone from one?
Oh, yeah,
and been like, oh, they
for
do it
sure,
different here?
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, our facility, we was in trailers. It was crazy, yeah. It was, and our trailers and our practice field was next to the airport, literally up against the airport. So all that jet fuel and all of it, we smelling it and stuff. But that was part of it. So it's fair. I think it's fair. I think it's 100% fair.
I think that's foul, man. You break up with one team, get traded or whatever happens, you get those shots back. You know, I don't like the shots
He's been
back.
waiting to do that,
though.
though,
The
Paul.
facility is better.
It's the
Like
facility.
now, like people like now
players.
thinking like him. Like, I mean, Memphis has been taking shots this week. I done heard from another outlet that players don't want to go down
So let me
there.
ask you this then, Paul. Where would you rather be? In Orlando as a player or Memphis as a player? Would you rather live in Florida, in Orlando, or live in Memphis?
I'd rather live in Orlando, more sun.
Well, that's probably what he really saying.
Yeah.
He's just saying
Well, I
that
thought those shots at
there's
Memphis,
windows
though.
in the facility. I think it's fair. He's just talking about the facility. If he
Yeah.
was talking about the players or the coaches or like people in the organization, that's different. But they traded him, and you know he's saying he's in a little. He's still upset.
Yeah, he upset.
And they probably got so much space, and you know Disney is probably pretty down there and everything.
Palm trees.
Palm trees.
Better
Coming
suburbs.
up, will Halliburton be on the floor tomorrow and help the Pacers extend the NBA Finals to a Game 7? That's next on Speak. The Thunder and Pacers head back to Indiana for Game 6 tomorrow. OKC is in control with a 3-2 lead in the series and can secure their first championship in franchise history tomorrow night.
Ooh, they got some oxtails.
Every time, if I stutter, if I like wait too long to say a word, he's like,
No, I'm just having a look. You all right?
I got it.
Yeah, all right. You know what I mean?
Do the Thunder close out the finals in Game 6, Paul? You predicted it.
I'm gonna get these oxtails tostadas. Oh, you said, Indiana. Indiana, Game 6. Yeah, Indiana. I got Indiana. Yeah, I got Indiana, baby. They go steal this game to 7. We haven't had a 7-game series since Golden State. Was it Golden State and Cleveland? A 7-game in the series?
What, we at Game 6?
In the finals?
Yeah,
We Game 6 in Indy.
In Indy. This is going to get extended.
Ooh, the commissioner there. Ooh, the commissioner there. The trophy there. They got the T-shirts. They got the champagne or whatever. And the
boxes of champagne.
Ooh, boxes of that. Ooh.
They're going to ship that back to OKC.
No, OKC trying to take it back on a plane and be drinking and having fun. OKC, they got this handled.
OKC closes it
They
out
got the
tomorrow
goggles.
night.
They got goggles for the locker room.
I think the
Oh,
Pacers...
they putting the goggles up. They're going to have the tarp around with the trash bags.
Yeah.
You know, the plastic all around. Yeah, they got it done.
I think that the Pacers are going to push us to a Game 7.
Okay.
Figure it out.
Bet something.
At home, Game 7.
Bet something. Put something on it.
Let's bet let's bet a lamb chops dinner.
Lamb chop.
Lamb chops dinner.
I don't eat lamb
chops. Coming up, lamb chops dinner.
No,
Keyshawn has a special message for the Speak crew. That is next on Speak.
I do. When it was brought to me about who did I want to bring on to speak, first person I said was Joy, and then I said Paul, and I said Michael Irvin, because I know when you're having fun and you're having chemistry, it's going to be the best show that money can buy in sports television.
We seen this before. Ain't nothing wrong with him. Same thing that went on in Boston against the Lakers. Wasn't nothing wrong with him.
Working with Paul every single day is fun. In basketball, he was a little more serious about the game, where his television thing, he's more personality-driven.
If the Celtics lose Game 2 at home, I'm walking here 15 miles.
The good thing about it is it's Paul.
Oh, man, I'm exhausted.
I could read his mind based on the beginning of a sentence and where he's getting ready to go.
We 5-0. I mean, she's doing everything I'm asking. I got food on the table.
Literally, like, if you watch me before he even gets it out, I'm like, oh, jeez.
Here we go. Here we go, Joy.
I'd rather have that than a bunch of boringness, that's for sure.
That's very nice, Key. You know that? You're just saying that for the camera.
No, y'all my folks. Now, come on, man. I don't need to say nothing for no cameras. When I say it, it's 100%. You know how I tell y'all all the time. Best show money can buy in sports television, and it can't nobody mess with us, and I don't give a damn what they say.
The best producers.
Yeah, for sure.
The best researchers. We've got